Beast? What?
Flippity-piss.
What is up, everyone? Welcome to Mechs on Deck. It is Wednesday, September 2nd. Today, we are joined with Mr. Hineybush. How you doing?
Hello, I'm fantastic. How about you guys?
Doing well. Doing well. What about you, Chewy?
You know, today's like the first day that I felt like somewhat normal in like a week.
Yeah? You
like
feeling
literally
better?
a week from today. Yeah, it's been a ride. But want to big shout out to Mr. Honeybush for being flexible. I messaged him like in the fetal position on my phone. I was like, "Hey man, I'm really sorry I have to cancel tonight." He was like, "Yeah, dude, no problem." So thank you. So guys, if you do not know who Hineybush is, I've spent the last 15 minutes trying to think of all of the things that he has designed. He is okay. I'm going to go by list of what I might think is the most important to least important to you, or at least the most intense to least intense. He is the designer of the HBCP, one of the best full-size layout keyboards in the hobby. He is the designer of the H87A PCB, which is one of the best TKL PCBs you can get. He is designer of the Heine TKL1. I believe it's the TKL1.
Yeah.
Haven't seen, we've only seen some protos, but I can only expect the best. He is the designer of GMK Violet on Cream. He is the co-designer of GMK Beta. He's the co-designer or primary designer, I can't remember exactly, of GMK Nuclear Data. He's the designer. Collaborative effort of the GMK Nuclear Data. He is the designer of the H60 PCB, which if you are on this channel because of the Squid 60, you've probably heard of that at least once. And he helps bring space bars for Alice style layouts to the masses for many different key sets. So welcome, Mr. Hineybush.
That is quite a welcome. Thank you.
You forgot the meme.
Oh yeah,
and the meme. No, that was. Come on, that's 2017.
We don't talk about the meme.
So yeah, that was 2017 was like, oh, that was a different generation of keyboards.
Over here, but love you
So,
guys.
but welcome back to the show. I think this is your third time.
Second or third, yeah.
Second or third.
First time in this place. Last time I was in my last place in Ohio, but yeah.
Yeah, I think you were about to move last time. Like you were.
That's right. Yeah, because
you
I
were
was
like getting
in,
ready.
Like, was that in like February or March? I can't remember.
Something like that.
I don't know.
Absolutely. And then Milk Manu, Grim Omen, and Commander Bear. Commander Bear, welcome back. I haven't talked to you in a hot minute. But guys, thank you for the subs. So yeah, I definitely appreciate it. September, so half price subs. So if you are wanting to throw us some support, it definitely helps the channel continue on to do awesome stuff. And since it's half price, if you usually throw us a sub our way, why don't you go throw? You can throw Hineybush a sub. You can throw a lot of these other keyboard other keyboard streamers some subs, such as like Top Clack and Apiary and Langlandia and IMURU, all great streamers. So spread some love. You know, you got $10. That's 4 different subs that you can throw out and help the keyboard community. September, I like that, Amir.
September. Ooh, there you go.
Ooh.
Simp. Oh man. So
it's gonna be a fun one.
So we always start with a fast four, and I'm interested because it's been a couple months since we had you on. I'm interested to see how it changed because there's been a lot that's changed in the community. You know.
Oh my god, it's insane how quickly things change.
So we'll start off with what are your top 4 favorite switches?
Ooh, that's a good one. Right now, how about I'll just say the 4 switches I have because I have 4 keyboards on my desk. I have the TK. I have one TKL1 Proto. I have in my N-Dash. I have a TKL1 HSC and my 280, and I like them all. So I'll just go through these. I don't even know what switches are in this, honestly. Oh, these are inks. These are inks. I think with 65 gram springs in them, really good sound. You know, you guys know how smooth and clean they are. They're unreal. We'll say inks. I have some Gat Giants in the N-Dash, which are actually probably right now my number 1 favorite because they have like just such unique deep sound whenever they're lubed nicely. I had Kelly lube these for me, Kelly 87. He did a killer job. And then I have some Gateron Reds with the black top, milky top, black bottom in the HSC, which are great. And then some milky yellows, full milky yellows, Gaterons. I got this because Novelkeys ordered them by accident, I guess. So I picked them up. I was like, hell yeah, I'll get those. And they're in the 280. And all of them are fantastic. So, and I'm pretty sure all of these also have 65 gram springs in them. No, the 280 has 63.5. So those are my top 4 favorite right now. They're all almost identical, but they're what I like.
But they're different. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm glad that you put 65. Like, I couldn't go as low as 65 grams, but I'm glad you put 65 grams in a red. When you said red, I was like, oh, come on, man. At least add a little bit more weight.
It's essentially a black at that point.
Mm-hmm.
But I got it just because the reds look cool. It's all about the aesthetics. You guys know.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Who doesn't love beautiful looking switches that you put caps over that you can't see?
That one picture I take and put on my Flickr, that's all I need.
So there you go. Next up is your top 4 favorite keyboards. We're going to eliminate anything that you've designed. Okay. So no HBCP and no Heine TKL.
Like that I've owned or that I've just like.
Yeah, you just like. It can be ones that you've owned. It can be ones that you would wish you had. It can be a board that's not even out yet.
Definitely the Dolphin, the Lynn Dolphin. Love it. I have one. It's might be my best sounding board, honestly. And the curves and how it looks, like you gotta love some curves. Probably that. The 280 is actually surprisingly, maybe not surprisingly, giving Zondat's attention to detail when it comes to design. 280 is killer board. Love mine. And all the other colors that have been coming out look really damn good too. So 280. One I've always really liked and never had, actually probably the original one that inspired me to do the HBCP was the box CP.
Mm-hmm.
It came out of Korea, I think 3 years ago. And seeing that, I was like, all right, I want to build a board like that. I like that layout. So probably that one. And then last, I would say probably the Blackbird, the Duck Blackbird. I'm actually making a board based on that layout now, but the Blackbird was like one of the first customs that I saw, and I was like, all right, this is sick. Like, this is the kind of shit I want to get into. I like this a lot. I typed on one at like one of the first meetups I ever went to in Indianapolis, and I was, yeah, this is so sick. And the layout's really cool.
Yeah, it
There's a
is.
numpad on there.
It's like a
That's a-
HHKB with a numpad and arrows, right?
Yeah, except I hate HHKB layout, so
My guy.
it's the worst. I need like I have my my K or key whatever proto, and I literally haven't typed on it since I built it because I cannot not have like my control keys. I'm okay with one keyless blockers. I love one keyless blockers, but I cannot do without my controls.
HHKB 1800.
Yeah, basically.
When you have that many keys, so you might as well just get rid of a few.
Couldn't be.
I'm still waiting on like a win keyless CP layout. Like that's goals.
Well, the Ibis, which is my like Blackbird layout board, I'm not going to do the HHKB, but I'm going to do win keyless one.
Ooh.
So win
Hit me
keyless
up.
blocker, win key blocker on the left, not on the right. Yeah,
Still hit me up.
Pretty lit.
Definitely want to try that out. Zoo, thank you.
Thanks for taking a
Nice.
screenshot of the sex number. Appreciate that, bud. Next up will be your top 4 favorite key sets, obviously excluding the ones, the many that you've been involved in.
Yeah. Dolch is up there. Muted is up there. Any like beige one, like 9009, probably not 9009 row 3 or around 3 because I really don't like the centered legend. I actually sold mine because of that. But like 9009 row 1 or 2, round 1 or 2, OG stuff. Obviously, I've been using a lot. I think I got 2 sets in of the KA 1953. So I've been using those a lot. But I also want to throw back to my first favorite key set ever, DSA Granite. I've ever seen Granite and I was like, I want that key set. But then I realized DSA layout sucks. So your profile sucks.
Didn't they run Granite in a different profile?
It was SA. SA Granite ran like a year and a half ago. It was like SA row 3, I think, from Pit My Keyboard, I think, did it.
That sounds about right, yeah. Yeah, that's even triple plastics. So, and I mean, white on black is also always very much the classic. Like, I think anyone that gets into customs needs like white on black, Dolch, and any variant of beige. And those are like the holy trinity of key sets you must have.
Well, I don't have beige, but I've got the others. So
you can get them.
I have modern Dolch. Does that count?
Yeah,
close enough.
Yeah,
is that close
definitely
enough?
does.
I have black on white. I have minimal. That's
close.
I've got my staples. I have been wanting to pick up a set of white on black just because it's that. I have 9s, which is very close, but like it's like it goes with everything. It can go on pretty much anything. Like, you know, it's, and then you can do some fun stuff with minimal. You know, you can do like a zebra board.
Yeah.
You make a little V's in the with the different rows.
So, and then now it's your top 4 favorite key sets. Or no, not key sets. Top 4 favorite foods. I'm sorry. Osiris threw me off because I usually start with switches. And so it's just mind fucked.
Foods right now. What I've been eating, probably more than I should have. Thai food, like a nice pad Thai. Love pad Thai.
Oh, yeah.
My favorite pad Thai ever was actually where I lived in Dayton. The Thai place we get stuff from all the time had crispy pad Thai, which is like the egg noodles are like fried and crunchy and crispy, and that was like the best thing. I can't find that anywhere here, but I loved it. That's that. And then hot dogs. I've been eating hot dogs. You know, it's summer, grilling. I'll eat a hot dog for lunch or something. You know, a little bit of ketchup. Hot sauce and ketchup is the combo. Like Frank's Red Hot, just like sprinkle it on.
Interesting.
That's what I do it. What else? I've been eating Ben & Jerry's ice cream. Go to Target, you got to get Peanut Butter World and Netflix and Chilled. Those are unreal flavors. Get those.
What is in Netflix and Chilled?
It's like a peanut butter base, like kind of like a peanut butter creamy base with chocolate like brownie pieces in it and like a it's hard to explain, but it's like a salty kind of like pretzel, but it's not like a crunchy pretzel. It's just like smooth
Like
cream,
soft
but it's
pretzel.
it's so good. You honestly just have to try it, and you'll
I'll have to
understand.
look this
You'll
up.
get it. How many is that? 3? That's 3. And the last one lately, I like the flat pretzel chips.
Ooh,
Like you buy them in like
yes.
the big bags in Costco. I've been eating those for like a snack.
They have those with like the everything seasoning on them. I love those.
See, I can't do everything seasoning because it just lingers and doesn't
The
go in
garlic.
my
Yeah.
mouth. Nope. My girlfriend loves like the Trader Joe's everything seasoning and stuff.
Yeah,
I
we put that on everything, man.
I just can't do it.
I understand. It's like who doesn't love a bunch of garlic right in the morning?
Oh, I know. Poppy seeds and love it.
You have to
Love
like
it.
take a hose to your mouth after to get everything out of your teeth. So, like I said, you are the designer of many things. You are a man of many interests when it comes to design. You are a fantastic PCB designer, and as well as you
Thanks.
definitely have your toes in everything. I've used.
I make mistakes and do stupid shit too at the same time.
So, and a man who tells it like it is. So, is this the?
This is
Is
the
this-
H88 that I ordered a bunch of, and they're wrong. It's hard to tell,
Okay.
but like this is the stepped caps lock,
Mhm.
and it should be perfectly in line with the 1.25U here, and it's offset half a unit, so it's literally unusable. So I had to order more.
That's fun.
That's fun. So yeah, if anyone bought an H88, I will be sending you a new one and or holding onto the order that it was supposed to ship today, because then I found the issue yesterday for like another month. So you're welcome.
But hey, you know what? You're fixing your problems. That's at the end of the day, you can't go. You can't complain when someone goes, "Hey, I'm sorry, I made a mistake."
Mhm.
People can bitch that it's going to be delayed, but would you rather have something that doesn't work, or would you rather have something that works? Like,
Yeah, I've learned that I feel like I'm pretty good at learning from other people's mistakes. Where, like you see other group buy designers not doing that, and just be like, "Oh, sorry, I don't know," like, and just crawling into a hole and like never coming out, like my G60 that I've been waiting over a year for. But yeah, like
no salt.
Yeah,
No
you
salt.
have to learn now. Well, the worst part, T-Zark, is I shipped 2/3 of the group buy orders, and then I realized the mistake.
Ooh.
So yeah, so I'll just reship them. Like they can keep them. I don't know what they're gonna do with them.
Play with a frisbee.
Yeah, whatever.
Or just not have a caps
Something-
lock, it'll be all right.
Just drill it out. Just drill it out. Put it in the thing, and then just wire it to
that
somewhere
works.
else. You could just make
You
it
can
work.
bridge it. Easy,
Yeah.
but most people don't want to do that. So
Yeah.
oh well,
Understandable.
it just takes time.
And it does bring up a good point that, like, we've talked about this on the show before, but the best thing you can do, people go, "Hey, any tips on running a group buy? Any tips on designing this?" Look at the people who made mistakes. You look at everything that you find group buys that where just everything could have gone wrong, and then just literally go, "Okay, that was wrong, don't do that. That was wrong, don't do that. That was wrong, don't do that." It's much easier to go look at the mistakes than go look at what they're doing right, because you don't exactly know how they're doing it right. You just know that they're doing it right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And there's so much that goes on behind the scenes that a lot of people don't see, which is where a lot of that kind of stuff happens. And yeah, that's where good group buys and bad group buys are made.
Get fixed.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy
But-
because it is true. It's like all the people that are starting running group buys now, the people getting into the community now aren't having to deal with as many issues as we did maybe like 3 or 4 years ago, when it was like
A year or two ago, yeah.
when it was like so much smaller and everyone was just fucking up.
Everyone's trying to figure out how to do everything. There wasn't.
And now there's the companies like Keycaps, Rama, that like are larger scale that can manage to do things in such a good quality. Like, I mean, I still ship my stuff out in like the white foam that you can see like right here, but I mean, I'm working on custom foam and stuff. Like, you would literally get like a key set in like I've seen people ship key sets like way back in the day in like a padded bag.
Mm-hmm.
It's completely above and beyond.
Yeah, it's and I looked in for the custom boxes and stuff, and I was like, I'm sorry, like you'll get a great board, but I'm not going to spend. I would have had to increase the board cost significantly, so that like we sold 70 squids. I think maybe 10 people might appreciate the box. A lot of people might just toss it in. So I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to just do the normal box. I'm going to do exactly how I did it before because it worked before. I had one board that I still have no idea. Still have zero idea. It looked like something like a steel piece of metal like stabbed into the box. But that was just
happened to a couple HPCPs I shipped out. So I started I cut up like the brown like 8/8 inch thick like hardboard. It's smooth on one side and like texture on the other. I bought a bunch of that at Home Depot, cut it up, and then I put that on each side of the box to protect it from that. And ever since I started doing that, I haven't had a single issue.
I'm gonna have to look into that because it was so strange. Just like at a picture, and it's like it literally looks like something stabbed far in. It took a nick out of the top piece. So, I mean, luckily, the insurance was able to cover a big chunk of it, but it was just one of those like we couldn't figure out what happened. We had no idea. Like I don't know what would be hard enough to be able to do that much.
I'm assuming it's like some kind of sorting machine or something that the post office has.
But just
I don't know.
Forklift.
I feel like if it was forklift, it would have been a little bit worse of a.
It's like someone like it's like some like a it's like pen size. It's like a metal like rod or something. Stab it in the side.
But no. So the HBCP guys, if you don't know this board, I've unfortunately not been able to ever obtain one. I've typed on one before, never gotten one. It's a fantastic full-size layout.
Huge
CP, the compact full-size. It's a hefty boy. I remember following all of your short shorts and Crocs pics of the HBCP prototypes. So I know I Am Me You Are You, who's a great friend of the stream, is like a diehard HBCP fan.
Oh, he loves it. He's been in since the prototype. Like this is like the one I just showed. That's one of the 5 protos. He has one of them.
Mm-hmm.
I hope he buried with my HBCP. Jeff was also in on that box. Well, yes, HBCP will have another run. I'm actually like doing a full redesign on it to kind of fit my design language that I've developed a little bit better.
So I want to talk about a little bit about the HPCP. I know I want to talk more about the TKL1 because that's obviously a little bit newer, a little more fresh. But so what kind of got you started on it?
I had, like I said, the box CP. I saw like Group Buy and I was like, oh, this is sick. Like I really like this board. Ended up not being able to give it because I was in college. I like didn't have any money at the time. That was way before I started doing anything that would give me any money for keyboards. But I ended up getting a Leopold FC 980M, and I love the layout just because like it's a really good layout. It's compact 1800. It's everything you really need, and it's not a full size board. So I had that. I made a custom PCB for that at one point. I only made I'm pretty sure I only have one other one in the wild because I pretty much just made it for myself. And then went through that, and I just kind of started designing the HPCP. I went through like 6 or 7 iterations. The ones, the original pictures that you mentioned, Chewy, where like I was like standing in my like living room in my old apartment with like my Crocs on. That was the first iteration of the prototype, and then the new iteration was like a year after that, which is what I have now, and that ended up being the final production. But yeah, so it's like it's actually coming up on the 1-year anniversary of the buy next week, 2 weeks from now. But I literally have these. There's 3 boards total here. There's 2 sets because there's people that got both bottoms, and then 2 others, and that's all I have to ship out. So yeah, it's literally almost about to be done. Once it's done, I'll have a bunch of extras. I have a whole shelf full of them over there. They're all like B stocks and stupid shit. But yeah. I'm glad it's almost over because it was a great learning experience because it was like the first big like group I did. A lot of lessons learned. A lot of things I've changed and will keep changing. But yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean it's a beautiful board. Like Chewy said, I had the chance to mess around with Mr. IMEURU's board last year at the NorCal meetup, and it was it's definitely surprising. I feel like there's a lot of people who rate that board extremely highly. So it's interesting to hear how many like changes that you're looking at doing with how loved it is.
And it's funny because I mean a lot of it's a lot of the times like you'll see a lot of boards go up for sale like immediately on MechMark and stuff. I think I've only seen like 2 or 3 of the HPCPs. Like I feel like people are actually liking them and enjoying them enough to like not just go and flip them and sell them. Plus, it's not like I mean, Teja's built probably 5 or 6 of them at this point, but like it doesn't really have like that same kind of like hype. Like oh, I want to buy this. I'm going to spend $3,000 on it. Stupid stuff like that. But yeah, it's interesting like how quiet people are about it. I think like that's a good sign.
Yeah, it's the Futurama quote. That's always it's if you've done something right, it'll be as if you've never done anything at all.
Mm-hmm.
And it stays true. If it's good and there's not a lot of talk about it, it's like
yeah, it's taken a while. I've literally had all these cases since like January, but 3 different PCB iterations. I had my PCB fab put the wrong diodes on, so like literally like half the keys worked. Stupid stuff like that, but to the point now where like I just have the finish lines in sight. So thank heck.
Yeah. So moving toward forward from that, you the Heine TKL1. So the Heine TKL1, guys, I'm gonna post the Geekhack, the IC here, and that one beautiful color.
Thanks.
Beautiful color.
This is actually like the fab came back and told me they're like, this is like a really, really, really hard color to anodize. My buddy Perry, who's pretty new to the designing side and stuff, but he actually had a board made in the same color through referral, but it came out like it would have matched GMK Coral perfectly. Like it was like bright like orange.
Oh, wow.
It was not this color at all. But it's apparently like a really hard color to do. I did a friends and family buy in the lilac. Sorry, public people, it wasn't public. Whatever. Buy one extra. It'll be more expensive. And it's been delayed like 2 weeks because they had to re-anodize a bunch of them. Well, that's okay. Hopefully it'll come out.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, you go. You're good.
I was just gonna say I was gonna ask about if the pretty cute purple would make a comeback at some point.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely a color that I want to run again and with other boards. Like I kind of have like a list of colors that I want to, mess around with. Not even just for TKL1, but like IBIS or HPCP in the future, or whatever else I want to make. But yeah, I definitely want to do this color again because it does look so sick with a lot of different key sets and a lot of different stuff.
Yeah. So, with the proto, like, so how did you decide? Like, when did you decide? Oh, I'm going to go for a TKL now because you are obviously the man of the full size layouts. Known as the man who likes full size layouts. So.
It pretty much stemmed from like H87A being such a big success. I think it's on the 4th buy right now, and I should get those in like a week or 2. But yeah, I was like, okay, I have the H87A. I want to do a board with that layout. I want to make a 10 key, like a TKL. Like it's a hot layout. It's never going to go out of style or out of fashion. Like everyone's always going to like them. I know it'll sell well. I know that it's a very done design. Like it's hard to reiterate on how many iterations have been made by different community members, but at the same time want to do my own little spin on it, and it worked out pretty well. I did the Type C, of course, instead of like a Mini B. I have actually right here the purple and the red, the special editions for the TKO one. Like no RGB because RGB is a waste of money and time and effort.
My guy.
All that kind of stuff. Yeah. So, I mean, it's a basic bare bones board, but it's one that I really like, and it turned out really well. Like I said, like I just have the prototypes. I haven't done like a proto buy or anything, so I'm excited to see what people think about it because I think it turned out pretty good.
Absolutely. And I want to ask about the mounting style because you're also a big champion for the burger mount. And in this
Yeah.
time of a lot of gaskets, why
Ugh.
go burger?
It's simpler. Like
Yeah.
top mount keyboards can't be done wrong. I mean, they can be, but it's. I still think top mount is the best design, the best feel, the best sound. You really can't go wrong with it. There's a lot of experimentation, yeah, with like the gasket mount and the isolation and the leaf springs and like the 4x4, like whatever. I literally I don't care. Like it's cool, it's great, but people still go back to the top mount. And the burger mount is like it's a slight change because it does pretty much isolate the plate from the case. However, you still have the fix the like it's still fixed to the case via the screws. It's just not tied directly to it. I actually want to build up another brass plate and do like a side by side comparison of the two. But yeah, it's I mean it's just I don't think it really changes it much, but it can change it just that little bit that people can mess with it and see if they like it. And the nicest part is it's completely reversible. Like it's just a top mount board with little counterbores. You can put the little O-rings on if you want to. If you don't, you don't have to. Like if you want to only put them on the bottom like the bottom side mounts or the outside mounts or the inside mounts, you can mess with it and iterate on it and make it your own.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it anytime you can have what was the I think you talked about earlier the G60, the
Yeah.
where it's like anytime you can have kind of a board that like the little jack of all trades kind of board where it's like you can test different ways of how to mount it and how you like it, because that's one thing, we talk a lot about, a tester board. Okay, well, it's, a lot of your tester boards are going to be your more inexpensive like tray mount boards.
Yeah.
But it's great for, you can test switches, you can test plates, but it's hard to have like a mounting style. Like it's almost like someone should just design a 60% board that can cover top, bottom, sandwich, and
Yeah, really.
sandwich, and because I mean we've seen it with the Fiel with the screw-in mounting holes. Like there's a way to make the like the ultimate see what mounting option you like, because
I think you're good. Never mind. Your video froze on my end.
I'll just.
Yeah, you're good.
I like to.
You're good. Yeah.
I was talking too much spot. I was giving too much of a good idea, apparently. But like it'd be cool to see something like that, because the difference between a sandwich mount and a top mount and a tray mount, it's all very different. It all feels different. It all sounds different. So it's kind of one of those, like, it'd be cool. It's probably not going to be for everybody because most people kind of know what they like based on experience. But when we have a lot of people coming into the hobby, especially in the last 6 months, who go, well, how can I try these boards? Because I can't go to meetups right now. And I don't want to spend, $3,000 buying 5-6 different boards, hoping I get lucky enough to get in these, to realize that I like this layout. So
on the other side of it, honestly, when you don't know what you're doing, or like there, I mean, people just getting into the hobby, like they literally don't know, like when people are like, oh, like should I do this to my Switch? Should I do that? It's like it's hard to say yes or no, because you're not gonna. A lot of times, people getting into the hobby aren't gonna know like the intricacies and the small details and changes between them. Because for the grand majority of boards, whether it's a gasket mount, top mount, O-ring mount, tray mount, whatever, you're not really gonna know the difference. And it's tough because it does come with going to meetups, trying a bunch of different boards, trying buying different boards, having friends with different boards and stuff. But it's like people want to go straight to this. Oh, I want to get a gasket mount in game. This that. It's like it's cool to get to that point, but like why are you getting that versus something else? And I feel like a lot of the time now, especially with how much the hobby has been growing, is it's like people are doing it just because it's hyped and not because they actually get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it kind of sucks. It kind of sucks, but I mean, it's not really my problem, so it's okay.
It's one thing that we've talked about many times of like coming into the hobby and just going straight to like a key cult, like you miss
Mhm.
out on a lot. Like
You miss out on so much. Like I didn't start here with these boards. Like we all started with, probably a Corsair, or like a Logitech or an N Pro or something. And
Hey, Razer, come on, man.
I didn't want to.
Don't forget the king. Don't forget the king of keyboards.
Sorry, I just didn't want to
Wow.
say that. But yeah, I mean, we all come from somewhere, and it even like irks me when someone comes into like a Discord chat or something, and they're like, "Hey, I want to get this for this random kind of cheap Alibaba or AliExpress board," and people are like, "Oh, that's not even a real custom keyboard. Like, screw you, get out of here." It's like that's not good because it like the gatekeeping is ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's a shame, but I mean, it's such a toxic community. It's really hard to not have that happen.
Yeah, it happens. Well, and it's like I completely get that. I've owned lots of boards. I've been very fortunate that I've been able to own a wide variety of boards and a lot of nice ones. And my first gasket board is this, which I bought or I built literally Saturday. This is the first time I have I've
Which
built
board
gasket
is that?
boards. This is a Keycold 60.
Oh, sick,
160.
nice.
And I love it. And the reason I got it is because after building a Bauer with Zycos and after hearing Osiris's Iron 165 with Zycos, I was like, okay, that's the sound I want. But I didn't go get a Keycold immediately because it's like I don't know, I don't want the big TKL in that with that. It's like no, I don't. But after getting now, obviously it's a little different. We get to build a lot of different boards. We're very fortunate.
Mhm.
People send us boards, so we get to try a lot of different things. But if you're going to meetups and other things, that's why I got a Fiel, because I tried a Fiel and I was like, I love this, and
Yeah,
that's why
absolutely.
I got this and that. And so when the world opens back up, like go to meetups, try the things.
Oh my
because
god, I cannot wait for meetups
Yeah.
to start happening again.
Like I just
I
want.
need one.
I don't want. We don't want anyone to just like Osiris says, jump into this end game because you really don't know if you like it or not.
it's hard
like
to appreciate it.
Buying a Mercedes as your first car, a Lamborghini as your first car. It's like, do you even know how to drive a car, handle it? Granted, it's a keyboard. It's not like you're gonna go crash into a bus or something. But I mean, at the same time, I've seen people their first board that they're like the first thing they ever solder is like their like their Iron 165 or their key call, and it's like, really, like, do you trust yourself enough to do this?
No, I wouldn't. I absolutely wouldn't. I was scared shitless that I actually went and
I still
did
am.
it. I did it on the caps lock. I started with the caps lock because I was like, if I fuck up one, then I'll just get over it and use the other caps lock spot. I was like, okay, I'll just try this like 2 or 3 times. And I did it like 2 or 3 times. I was like, okay, we're good. And then I did the rest. And I was like, okay, it's actually really not that hard.
No, it's
but
not.
like I've heard lots of people, and I've sent some as well, where I'm like, here's an old PCB. Half of it doesn't work already, but I'm sure there are a ton of people in this hobby that have a fucked up, ruined PCB.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That it's like
I've seen the stuff on Reddit.
Like, most people, like I think I have 3. If you want a freaking PCB that doesn't work just to test a build on, just pay shipping and I'll send it your way, because it's just sitting in a box in my closet right now.
With these H88s I have that I literally, like, you can't put a real caps lock key on it. You can put like a tab key on. I'm probably just gonna put them up on my site as like a blem, like hey, pay what I paid for it and I'll ship it to you. And you can do whatever you want with it. I don't care. Yeah, I mean, honestly, the keyboards are such a low barrier of entry. It's like not that big of a deal if your solder looks like crap, as long as the keys work.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good to go.
Yeah.
Also, if the backside of your PCB looks a little messed up, it's like, dude, it's the backside of your PCB.
Yeah,
unless you're
like
going for, unless you have a polycarbonate where it shows everything off.
It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter.
Like,
People are like,
come
oh,
on, show something
what kind of
inside.
like can I can I use like this solder? I don't want flux on my keyboard. It's like, dude, you're gonna get it on there.
It's gonna get everywhere.
Yeah, it's gonna be there, and you're gonna be okay. Like, don't worry.
It's gonna be there. It's gonna get on your desk. Just deal with it. Scratch it off.
HRB PM me. My on Discord. What was funny is, so Osiris, I forgot what he was doing, but he had my Baka, and this it might still be that PCB, but like I will use a PCB until like 7 keys don't work, and then I'm like, okay, fine, I'll get the new one. But he opened it up and he was like, dude, your PCB is fucked because it's got traces going everywhere across it. Because I'm like it works. It still works. It's got electrical tape on the back everywhere, but it works.
I have a prototype here that I messed up for a guy, but I had to jumper it to make sure it actually worked. And I've since, fixed it in the real version of the PCB, but yeah, I had to jumper it. It's so common. And I've helped countless people like fix their PCBs that way, and they work fine.
Especially like older PCBs had a lot more issues with pads being shitty. It's desoldered like twice and it just doesn't work.
Definitely. And that's one of the main reasons why I started doing the H87A was because so many boards, so many older custom TKLs were unusable because the PCBs were like just fried.
Yeah.
I don't know what has happened since. I mean, there's still boards that are like that, but I'm trying to get my stuff out even more. Like LZ's using them now. I know he used the TX boards that would kind of have that issue a little bit. Liku boards, yeah.
Dude, Liku boards can fuck off. I'm sorry.
Yeah, really. Yeah,
Liku PCBs with Jagon can literally, you can throw all of them into a volcano.
I'm working on TX now. Slowly trying to get TX to adopt them.
Good.
There you go.
Yeah.
One of my pet peeves, and the one good thing about, because the Keycult kind of breaks this rule, right, is I don't like PCBs with boards with proprietary PCBs. I like to be able to buy one because of Osiris. Because Fox Lab, if you're listening, for the love of God, make another Orange 75 PCB. Also, you shouldn't have made that PCB like that to begin with. But I don't the Baka 60 and the Squid 60 was designed, and I said no. I'm not even going to offer. I'm not going to make a PCB specifically for it because I want if you fuck your PCB up, I want you to. No, I don't want you to have to worry about. Oh, I can't use this PCB now. Yeah, especially for the people that don't know how to bridge.
Mm-hmm. And the nicest part about 60s, a lot of them, like especially with Baka and so many others, is they're compatible with like a GH60 layout, which is what I wanted to make mine. You can buy them on, KBD fans for $15-$20. Like they're cheap, they're easy to do. Like if you can have multiple builds for not that much money, that's the way to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Bottom Clunk, for the raid. Appreciate that, my dudes.
Oh,
yeah, dude.
Man, I just opened the Reddit post that T-Zark opened, and that might be the worst solder job I've ever seen in my life.
Oh my god, I remember this. Yup.
Oh, whoa.
I don't even know how you do that.
Where's the not safe for life tag? Come on, man. That's actually, like, honestly, that's impressive.
Yeah.
Like, if someone said, I want you to make a PCB look like this, I would have a hard time making it look like this.
You'd have to use like the solder that people use for like soldering pipes.
Yeah. And then also not even remotely hot enough.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's talk about some keycaps. So you just had a nuclear data run. I loved that you did the not dasher. What's the word I'm looking for? The sub legends.
Yeah. The ASCII kit.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that you did that. It's a fantastic look. I think that's it's I know it can be a little polarizing, but I think I'm sure there are a lot of people that absolutely love that you did that. It's a nice green set for the dozens of us that love the color green. Dude,
the green sets have just always not been very hit or miss. Royal Alpha is the one I'm thinking of.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really classic set with the Irish sub legends and stuff, but even then it's like people don't buy them and sell them. Green's just a tough color.
Coniferous round 2 failed.
Mm-hmm. I had the R1 Coniferous, and it was a really nice set, but I ended up selling it.
I've been waiting for Coniferous round 2.5 to go because I love Coniferous. But I think it was donut cables.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Donut Cables. I don't know where he
disappeared
is,
for a while.
but
He's back in the community. He's running. Last I saw, he was running, I think, Royal Alpha again
but he
as
was EPBT. Yeah.
Really?
that's the last. Yep. I don't know
Yeah.
what ever happened with it, but I'm pretty sure that
I want to
was what
say
he-
I've seen a few pictures of it, so I'm sure it ran. But yeah, but once again, it did great. It did ran on Dixie, ran over. It had the surprise month of we've never seen Dixie run 2 sets at the same time.
Yeah.
So that was interesting to see Pono kind of run side by side with that. But overall, it's a fantastic set. For those who don't know, Nuclear Data is actually a pretty old set from SA. That
Like
kind of has
2016.
it's got that like it's almost vintage at this point, right? Like the keyboard hobby has only 4 years to make something vintage.
Those are the old days.
Yeah. We've had a couple sets on last night that were like that. Like GMK Monkey and GMK Stormtrooper. But with that, how did you get into bringing Nuclear Data back in a GMK variant?
I've just always kind of liked Nuclear Data as like an objectively cool key set. And I talked to Arslock a lot. I don't know how frequently he comes into the Mechs on Deck stuff, but he's one of our really good buddies. And we actually did Classic Blue together. There's another one, Chewy, Classic Blue.
Yeah, Classic Blue. Old school.
Which ran on Novel Keys a couple months ago. So he was like, "Oh, you should run Nuclear Data. We should work on Nuclear Data." And I ended up taking it and working with Oblotsky because he loves like the older kind of style sets like that too. Like he did Space Cadet. So I know he was a great person to go to with that. And we just kind of fleshed it out and made it work. Dixie was great to run it with. Numbers were kind of low compared to like what Dixie normally does, but I honestly just chalked it up to like green being a tough sell. Because green is hard to match on key sets or on keyboards, really, unless you have like a silver board.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, or a blackboard. Which honestly, it is strange to me that blackboards don't exist that much.
Yeah, I mean, like I did like the black HPCP and stuff, but yeah, it's like so many boards want to be these bright colors now. I want to do more blackboards because I think blackboards look really good. And
so the Austin round 1 ran in black, and I love that color. And so I actually was like, okay, yeah, whenever I run the Squid, one of the colors is going to be black because I think so many things work on it. So many things work on black. And you kind of, it's like, oh, well, the box brand boards are black, so you're trying to get away. You want it to more custom. You want it to look like metal, but I don't know. Can't beat the classic.
It's like things are just getting hyped now. Like the E-White. I hate E-White personally. I don't think it's good at all, but it's hot now, so that's what people are making.
It's interesting because it felt like we shifted. Like Mal White was a really big thing for a while, and then it shifted to E White, and I'm like, man, I wish Mal White would kind of come back. I know the finish itself is kind of like it's a soft finish and it can get damaged fairly easily, but it's just like that muted off white kind of like color, kind of gray. I think like I really enjoy that styling. I'm with you. I'm not a huge fan of like the super bright E White.
Nope. Not a fan. Cerakote is really sick. New types just that. I love Cerakote. But I haven't Cerakote anymore. Well, like Chewy, your key color, that's like that really light gray, right?
Is that what that one is? It's definitely more white, but so I have give me one sec.
Because I just I
have two E-White boards. And they are a little bit different. It's hard to tell on the camera, but they are, looking at them, this one is a warmer white.
Yeah, it looks almost like a light gray.
And so like on camera, they look the exact same, but they are different. And so with this one being warmer, it reacts differently to white keycaps. Because guess what?
Yeah,
there's like 14 different white keycaps, and they all are different. They all take colors. On. Cafe almost looks like a tan.
Yeah,
because the brown fades in, and then I've talked about this a lot. camping is such an interesting keycap set because
It's
I have a
a
picture.
creamy white.
It's a creamy white, but I have a picture where it looks orange, and it's the same picture. It's the same day, and it's literally 2 seconds apart. I took one picture, one angle, one the other. One looks like it's WS2, and the other looks almost orange.
Jeez, I'm picturing my Here, I'll share this in the Twitch chat. It's a picture of my dolphin, where because the violet and cream alphas are the same color as the camping. But it's like it just pops. It's such an interesting color. I love it. I'm really happy to go with that.
Because camping does not look as good on the Key Colt because it's a cooler white.
Mm-hmm.
But on the Crown, because it's a warmer white, it looks a lot better. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, there's
And
my
on
answer.
whites, on a white sets, it's hard to do, or on white boards, it's hard to do a white key set base. Like you typically have to go with like a colored base or something darker. But yeah, it's tough. I'm just not a fan. Not a huge guy.
Still waiting on the other whiteboard. It'll get here.
I don't think you're ever going to get that cameo white board. Although I guess there's a proto of the Lumina now, a second proto.
Somewhere.
There.
The countertop board that will never happen because Teslatron's a massive scammer. Yeah, that one. That's
well,
right.
there's like a
Yes.
rescue buy, and they got a pro. Like someone in the rescue buy
that dude, yeah.
got one, and they just got the actual proto of it, but no one really knows what's going to happen with it because it's like, how are you going to get this manufactured without having people pay more money again? And it's like, I already paid $400. I don't want to pay another $250, $300 to get the same board I already paid for.
That
Well,
dude's
then the
like
first rescue buy, they were like, "Can you please give us $120 more, and we'll give you a board that's only worth $120?" I was like, no.
That dude's like a used car salesman. It's like he's like the one dude that was gullible enough to go in and like do it.
Dalek Snail, if you want to see a sweet OD green keyboard,
Ooh.
your boy Osiris may or may not have a sweet ass OD green keyboard.
I'm working on a PCB with Mr. Dale Snail these days for Philco boards. So it's an H87A that works for Philcos. And we're gonna do we're gonna sell some plates and stuff so you can just do a full on drop in. Which would be pretty sick. Ooh, I like that color.
Fingerprints on it. Yeah.
My OD green is not that dark. OD green bang. OD green gang. Ooh, olive. I have olive too. I should have put that on this, but the Dolce just looks so damn good.
Yeah, I don't have Dolce though.
Is mine anodized? Yeah, this is a 280 in olive green. And I also have another green board.
You're
right here.
So that's I guess that's why this was much darker because this is OD green Cerakote.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say.
Yes,
yeah, dude. It looks so clean. I love the green. So and I enjoy. I've had 2 boards Cerakoted now. I've got my Bacchus Cerakoted. I have my Fiel Cerakoted, but I did it in Stormtrooper white. But it was so freaking like cool white. It was like electric cool white, and it did fine with minimal. But then I was like, this is like too clean. this is like too bright and intense. So I wound up selling it to a good friend, and they put dots on it, and I'm like, oh fuck, that looks so much
I have
better.
dots. I haven't put on anything yet. I don't know what to put it on.
It looks they put dots on a white Fiel, and I was like, fuck, that looks amazing. I'm so glad that that board has now peaked, and I'm like, I'm glad that that's with you now because I honestly like dots is cool, but I don't know. That's one of those like that looks great, and I'll appreciate the pictures, but I don't think I could ever own it.
Yeah, I got it just to do pictures of it.
Yeah, it looks so good and other things. I also just know that I would get so frustrated with because I hate trays. And I hate the new trays. I know you don't. I know you have a. You should post that video in the chat, by the way.
Right,
I appreciated it because.
Dude, they're bad. Then they apparently, according to a newer post on Reddit, they attract silverfish because it's potato starch. So
Really?
they are like, I want to make like some hash browns out of them or something. Just see how that goes. They're the new GMK trays are awful. I hate them. They are probably the worst thing that's ever happened to GMK key sets, and that is including the warp controversy that is allegedly occurring.
That's bold.
Easily the worst. Easily the worst thing that's ever happened to them are the new trays. They're awful.
I'm okay with that statement because I mean, a couple weeks ago we had DD decline, and I was I voiced my frustrations.
You also ripped one in half.
Both of them in half.
They're the one I've had. Well, two of the key sets of the three I just sold, and then the other one I just threw away. I put the set in a bag, and I was like, "Screw this! I'm done with it."
Yeah, I think it's one of those deals where it's like the heart is in the right place with what they're trying to do, with having it be a more sustainable product and the packaging, like understanding, hey, some people keep them, some people throw them away. You know, we want to lower our impact and the waste of the world. But
I definitely agree. Yeah, it's that is a huge benefit of it, but
they need to be better.
yeah, as Gringo64 just said in chat, just because it's more sustainable doesn't mean it's going to be better and more functional.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure there was probably some issue with them keeping the old tray design and then remaking it with the new material. Maybe they wanted to make it like smaller for easier packaging, but even then, it's like not hard to put a key set in a box. You just have to buy a larger box, and at that rate, you're paying a couple cents more for shipping. So, oh well.
I didn't even like the old trays. I just like bags.
Love the old trays. The old trays, but granted, most of my sets are in bags now. But the only ones I still have are in the old trays, if I have them in trays.
The last old tray I got, I guess Peaches and Cream randomly, still had the old trays, even though I think 8008 shipped right before Peaches and Cream, and it had the new ones. But yeah, I wound up like shipping that off to IMEURU because I was like, I usually just hold on to them, and then when I go to a meetup that's local, I just put them on a table and say
like free.
Yeah, like I don't want.
Yeah, the only ones I have are like sets that I really haven't used. And I think I just have like 3 with a bunch of random keycaps in them, like for board, like sets that I have on boards. Mm-hmm. But yeah, for the most part, I just toss them in bags these days.
Yeah, I got some of those little like the tubs that Dixie was selling. I think he has them back up on his website, where it's just like a little plastic tub with a nice resealable lid. And it fits like a full base kit and like a child kit, which is nice because then you can like put a nice little label on the end and you can kind of store them and have them set up.
Yeah, I do. I have that with what parts? I have a bunch of like just plastic containers with stuff in it. Usually, like on my streams, I pull out my massive bin of like extra kits and stuff, but I want to try to organize a little bit better. I have like main kits and then child kits in 2 separate ones now, which is better. But yeah, like even go to like TJ Maxx or like Target, like you can just buy a bunch of like Tupperware and put your sets in those, and then like they stack nice, like they look better. Like you see the people with like the little jars of like switches and stuff. I think that's kind of funny because it's like, why are you showing that off? But
yeah, I kind of like it. It's kind of like a cool little like. While to me that's something that's like I would buy that as a decorative piece, not as a storage solution, because I have a toolbox, like a tool container that's got all the little drawers in it.
Like this thing?
Yeah, it's very similar to that.
I put all my hardware in that, yeah.
Yeah, and it's got my stabs, it's got stickers, it's got some artisans, it's got all my it does fit caps, but it doesn't fit, the boxes aren't big enough to fit a whole set. But it will often fit like just if whatever board I am building is a TKL or below, it will fit that, so I can just like set all the keycaps aside and that. But it's great for the switches. But I do love that kind of like, oh, it's a cool little aesthetic if I have switches or something. But before I built this, I thought about putting the original Zycos in one of those and then just using newer ones. But then I was like, so I still like them. I've already
just
wasted
to
so many Switch parts for these. Might as well actually use them.
How many did you break while making the board?
So yeah, I think I broke 8.
switches.
Oh yeah.
Really?
Well, it's a Yacht top that goes on the Zeal VT bottom.
Oh yeah.
So the tops don't,
and the leg like breaks off.
yeah, the
Yeah,
little
I've had those.
clamps would break those, and so it's just, I was fortunate enough I didn't have to use any like mismatched, miscolored ones. They're all the red Yacht tops. So shout out again to Willio70 for providing some extras. So I think I only have about 40 of the actual original ones that I made left. I think I've had to mix and match a few since then, but yeah, it's I like I said, I love that little aesthetic. If you have a lot and you can kind of build, because we stream, so we kind of have to.
Oh yeah, you guys
I
gotta
want
have
to
a
put
nice,
some
like,
attention to detail.
This is a functional workbench. This isn't
Yeah.
like that's like the cute part.
Yeah, Nebula and PM me, man,
nice
because
setup.
I definitely have extra Zycos now, because I don't plan on building another Zyco board, and especially not in a brass plate, because I think my thumb is finally recovering.
I want
My
to build
index
a
finger's
tactile
still
build soon.
fucked, but
Dude, there's a
I wanna build
lot.
something tactile. Yeah, I just like they're all like everyone wanted to clone the Holy Panda. Once the Holy Panda became like the coolest, biggest, newest, sickest Switch, and I don't like the Holy Panda. It's too tactile. Like I'm gonna get annoyed with how tactile it is.
then boy,
Like-
howdy, would you not like the Zyco?
Yeah, it's like I mean I get it. I love the feeling, but it's like that's fatiguing. Like you're gonna have like pains in your fingers from that, and like that's why I like the linears, because it's easy. It's light. There's nothing going on. I kind of want to do like a light tactile, like Max F said, like a Mod M or
The
even
lilac,
like
honestly,
Gat Browns,
the
dude.
lilacs are pretty solid for a light tactile Switch.
I haven't really
like-
tried anything new. Like it's been a while. Like my last tactile boards had like V1 Zelios, so the not super tactile version, and then like Ergo Clears. I think I still have the Ergo Clear somewhere.
Yeah, I like the lilacs. That's what I have in my Baka. They're not quite as aggressive as something like the Zycos or a Zeal V2 or a Panda.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think
You have a
it's-
Zeal V1 board, right?
No, not anymore.
Not anymore.
Yeah, I have the Zeal V1, so I just don't have the board. I feel like there has been a missing section for tactile switches for a while now, because everything
Really?
went super tactile, and then all the people that really enjoy that lighter tactility kind of got left in the dust, right?
Pushed to the side.
And it doesn't help that the community like shits on Browns.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, I get it, but they're objectively not a bad Switch. Like, and a lot of people that are like that don't know what they want. Like, I had Browns. That was my first Switch, and it's like the gateway switch to either being like, "Hey, I want more tactility," or "I don't like the tactility." You know. But you will never know unless you use them. But so many people are like, "Oh, I don't want to like tactile because that's like having a Brown," and Reddit thinks Browns are stupid. So, like, I don't know. I blame the community for so many things. That's another reason why I don't advertise my things on Reddit, because I cannot stand the Reddit culture and the people on Reddit. It's really annoying.
But everyone on Reddit's so nice and generous.
Yep.
So, real quick, I need to excuse myself.
Oh,
Good luck.
Good luck, Jimmy.
Bye. See you. What do you have for dinner?
So right now, a new set designed by you,
Yeah.
in collaboration with you, is running GMK Beta.
I'm gonna type the link in chat. GMK Beta. Yeah, that is going on right now.
How'd you get started with that? And I know you've got quite a inspiration for the set.
Yeah. So it's a Betamax is like basically a rival to VHS. Ended up losing out to VHS at the end of the day. But I remember for some reason, like in college one year, I was super into like inspiration stuff, like artwork and I loved like the 80s and the 90s because it was like the perfect blend of like old school cool and tackiness. But I like saved a bunch of stuff like on my computer, like just pictures and pictures and pictures in like a folder. And I was going through it one day, and I was like, wait, I love like the old packaging. Like this is just like sick, you know? It's hard to like. It's I don't know. I think it just looks cool, but I love like old packaging like that where it's like simple, like blocks, like big text, super easy. So yeah, I've always thought they were cool, and I've like looked through trying to find like a cool key set idea, like based off of not just necessarily this one, but like any of them. Like I have this other one here that's really sick too, but this one would probably be a little bit tougher. It's like it's just like clean and sick looking. I don't know, but actually, Daily Clack did a key mat or a desk mat based off of this, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, yeah. So and I came across this one. It's like it's not white. It's like a light beige. I was like, okay, this is a cool base. Like we're gonna try to mess with this. So I did like a bunch of like random test renders and stuff. Ran some past Krubit and a Blotsky. And they came back with some feedback, and then ended up working out where we got the key set going. And I had the idea like, hey, we should do like a hiragana like alpha kit because it's Sony, like Japan, like that's cool, like it makes sense. Betamax I think was really popular in Japan at one point, but regardless, Krubit was like he literally won't sell a key set unless it's has a hiragana sub-legend kit or a base kit. So he really championed that and took that over, and made the kit what it turned into, and it works out really nicely because the colors actually work really well with like the JS Systems High Pro, or the Jest Systems High Pro keycaps that like are so famous for being on HHKBs and other Topro boards. So it worked out really well that we could kind of kill two birds with one stone. So a really cool base kit that is pretty much based on this, and then the second one, which is a pretty good analog for the High Pro caps.
Yeah.
And so far it's selling really well, so I'm really happy about it.
Yeah, it looks great. It's got a cool inspiration, and it gives those people, because that, like you said, that Just Systems HHKB keycap set is like kind of iconic and is just, it's very pretty. I know Huey, Man of Interest, has a HHKB with it on it, and it just looks so clean.
I used his album pictures in the group buy thread actually on Geekhack. But it's I'm really happy with how the renders and stuff turned out and how the colors turned out. And it's the best part was we can use all stock colors, so we don't have to worry about GMK color matching and going back and forth and all that fun horse shit.
Especially right now when it's taking forever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you're muted, Chewy.
Yeah, quick turnaround.
Yeah. But yeah. So and we were able to do like the really small like nuances, like instead of super or code, like the modifier keys say beta, and then we have, instead of a second B, it's the beta symbol from Nuclear Data actually, because the mold's being made for that. So we toss that in because it's beta. It makes sense.
Yeah, it's clean. I think it'll look really good on a lot of like silver boards. You know, you're going to give it that HHKB aesthetic.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see how it turns out. And the other cool part is the alphas are pretty much compatible with like 9009 and other beige sets too. So you can take the Hiragana alphas and like toss them on a 9009 board.
And then will your space keys work with it?
Yep. Yeah. So my OG space keys that I'm selling till Friday, or the L9 version, works with beta. So yeah. Like I've been telling people, if you like, sorry, we're not doing a dedicated 40s kit or a dedicated space key kit or anything, but if you want a space key kit, go get it here.
There is the link. Also, yeah, like honestly, I appreciate that you broke the colors out a little bit more, because I think the last run you had to buy like 4 or 5 or something.
Yeah,
it worked out. It worked out because I wound up selling like, you know, I wound up going like, hey, for $15, do you want these keycaps, and you wound up splitting it with some people. So, but I love that you kind of branched out.
Yeah, I think the first one we did, it was only L9, which is like the 9009 base, CC, which is the Dolce base, and then CR, which is black. But yeah, but this time we're doing like the alphas and the mods for all three of those because they're sets like 9s. I'm trying to think of other ones. There's a lot of sets that will work nicely with those. So yeah, it worked. Oh, and I also want to plug the GMK Dolch R5 group buy because
Still
that
going for 2 more days.
ends in 2 days. So buy that. I'm gonna put that link in the chat. Go buy that if you haven't yet because that is a killer set and I can't wait for it. I love it.
And if you're buying it, be sure to use the project mexondeck.project.link.
Oh,
link to
absolutely. Do it.
helps support the
thing?
channel. Yeah.
Oh, that is a thing. Yeah, do that.
Mexondeck.project.link. So if you're looking at Dolch R5, you want that 5th row.
Yes.
That
Dude,
5th row
R5,
goodness.
I am a convert.
Dude,
I am row 5
the extra sculpt, that extra little bit. Wait, I feel like we need more R0, R5. I think
I
not
don't know
enough
about
people.
R0.
Dude, it looks cool as hell from the side profile looks real cool, but it is very, very high. But
I do have ASCII coming, so I'll be able to finally try out R0 with that.
Yeah, I played around with it at the NorCal meetup. Someone had the Boneyard, the original Boneyard that was R0, R5.
Oh, sick.
Mr. L. Baron.
Yeah, and it's really nice. Like it feels very interesting. Like it's one of those things that it's a cool change up every once in a while, right? Like like how things like GMK Redacted and Dots are a cool change up. Adding in something that's got a R0, R5 is a nice little way to mix it up.
There's a novelty to it. And I just love R5 on boards. Like I think all but 2 of mine that I use regularly have R5 because I have like OG stuff or KA 1953 that I mentioned earlier. I got 2 sets of that, and that has R5. Or like I have like CMYK mods that have it. But it just feels nicer. I don't know. I feel weird going back to row 4. It's becoming a problem.
I enjoy it. So, but yeah, guys, and check out the space keys because I mean, more and more. What's also great about those keys is more and more companies like SM Keyboards and Switch Couture are able to make these Alice layouts way more accessible and way cheaper too. You don't have to spend 500, 600 group buy or thousands of dollars for one of these nice ones. If you got yourself a Tengu and you're waiting on a Tengu, go ahead and grab one of these. Change it up.
Beta is row 4, not row 5. Sorry, I kind of pushed for row 5, but they said no. That's okay though. I wish maybe next year.
That is interesting. Why would they not just like let you do what you want to do?
Typically, you have to commit fully to it one way or the other. And there is a wider base for row 4, so I get it. Just people are just more comfortable with it, and it just is what it is. I'm not too worried about it. I wish it did, but that's just me. I'm one person.
But a great person at that.
I wish.
True. I mean, I feel like it's one of those things that people may not realize that they like it, right? Like,
yeah, exactly. If you've never tried it, you won't know. People are big dumb.
People, you're not wrong. As part of me wants to say, well, hey, but I'm like, no, there's some interesting folks in this hobby. So, but one thing I do want to ask you, because you are obviously a man who has a refined taste and the nicest way possible. When I say refined taste, I mean that you're very critical about a lot of things.
Yes.
So, what is something that you are not tied to that you are looking forward?
I don't know. I'm looking forward to finally getting my goddamn G60, but mainly so I can just sell it because I don't even want it anymore. Probably, honestly, GMK Dracula. I'm super excited for that, and if people don't know, like really the only key sets I use are GMK or like OG die subs or OG double shots, because I'm really annoying like that. But GMK Dracula, I'm super excited for. Board wise, honestly, I really haven't been keeping up with much. It's kind of a shame, but I don't know. I guess it kind of is what it is, right?
Mhm.
I just haven't really had a good chance to go back and look through and check out what's going on.
It's kind of the nature of being a designer too. Like if you really want a specific board or its style, it's like I could just make it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, literally, like I'm just like, I want to do this. Okay, I'll do it. But it's like, I mean, so much is being done right now. It's kind of hard to keep up at the same time. You know, it's
Yeah.
not like where, oh, there's 2 new interest checks on Keycaps this week. Let's check them out. Now it's like, hey, Joe Schmo and his brother and all 15 of their cousins are all designing new boards now. So we got to look at all of them.
It is.
Ugh.
It's crazy. We were talking about the other day of like how keeping up with the news, the new stuff that's happening, whether it's things going into group buy, things releasing an interest check, it's like a full-time job at this point with how
Oh my, it's insane. It's
insane.
nuts. And it's funny because like you see all these sites that kind of pop up and they're like, hey, we're going to keep track of all the group buys interest checks. And then like all of them stop after like 2 weeks. And they're like, yeah, that sucks. And that kind of, I mean, that whole idea and discussion kind of goes back to what you were talking to originally with how like people learn from mistakes and people run group buys and stuff. There's a lot of people running stuff not knowing what's going on, like how to do it. You know, like people are like, oh, look, I can sell a TKL for $600. I'm going to sell them, and then it's like, wait, there's a lot of work that goes into it, and I wasn't prepared. Oh yeah, and everyone has their own Discord channel. I mean, I have mine. You guys have yours. Everyone does. But it's a really good place to post your updates. Like, I see you do it now, Chewy, with the Squid, where you have the info channel where like you post just updates. I do the same thing. And then you have like the discussions. But it does get tiring because you miss out on a lot because you can't look at all the Discords all the time.
Yeah,
you
tough.
can, but then you don't do anything else.
That's like I don't, you know, we talked about it last night. I don't really venture away from the Mex on Deck Discord just because it's kind of like I'm not going to go to Top Clack server to go talk to Quakeums. I'm just going to pee.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I'm just gonna if I really need to get in touch with Quakeums for whatever reason, I'm not going to go at him in the Discord and have a public conversation. I'm just going to go message him because
exactly.
There's not, you know, and it's my hobbies. My hobbies are more just like gaming, hanging out with friends, and keyboards, and then anything else. Like, I think I spend a lot of time on our sneaker channel, like because I like sneak. I have Hiney to blame for that.
Sorry,
these two.
I've kind of gotten out of the game.
Were the two people I'm not really eyeing anything right now. Ever since
it's just
taking the L.
It's like keyboard stuff.
Yeah, exactly. I tried the Zion. I tried to go for the Zion Yeezys, and after 45 minutes of waiting, I was like, okay, I'd give up.
and it's funny because I always equate like if I'm explaining like what I do with keyboards to people like that don't understand it, like I'm like, oh yeah, you know, I'll there'll be a group buy or I'll, you know, participate in something and it'll sell out in like 2 minutes. And like, what do you mean? I'm like, it's like how sneakers are. Like the demand is there and people will literally sit there and wait for it to work and like to get one.
It is,
and then they'll pay ridiculous amounts aftermarket if they don't get it in the original buy.
It's funny how they are very similar in the way that it's done. Of like a lot of these companies are not lower level, smaller designers that make these sneakers, right? Like in the grand scheme of things, like Off-White is a very small company. Supreme is an extremely small company. These companies that get in doing these designer collab sneakers or super hype ones, and it's like the same thing in keyboards. Like you have these really small companies making these super hype products.
This space in my attic, like Key Cult. I mean, they have their warehouse and stuff now, but they literally worked out of Zach's house.
Yeah. For a long time.
Most makers like will do that. Like very, 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 very few have like a dedicated space. Like I don't do this full time. I wish I could, but I have a day job. So like, granted, working from home over the last 8 months has been really nice because it's helped me grow more keyboard wise and stuff. But yeah, I mean, you can't. I would love to be able to do it full time. I just can't yet. And so many other vendors in the same spot.
Yeah, and it's tricky too because we're still in such a weird. You know, we're in a bubble, and it's.
I don't know if I want to gamble on keyboards in that way.
It's so also like.
I think my favorite question I've been asked through the whole Squid group buy is, So are you gonna like rent out a space for to like do production on the school? I'm like, nah, dude, it's just gonna sit in my living room.
Yeah, like I literally will haul these
like-
boxes. I will haul the boxes with 10 keyboards in them up to my attic, plop them on the floor right over here, move that table out of the way, and just have boxes. Like you guys can't see, but like I have like just shelves of stuff over in that corner. It's dark now, but there's my.
It's just
But
like
stuff.
keyboards.
yeah, I just have like shelves of stuff to ship out. Oh, here I have a teaser. I got a little fun new
Ooh, a
product.
little teaser.
Ooh,
The new Hiney
Little
rags.
ooh, fancy.
You're gonna have to send me one of those. See, I
With
got
the
the
logo.
Hiney sticker.
Yeah,
It's on the shill jug.
I got the logo on the corner, and they're smaller, so they'll fit the board a little better. Actually have T-shirts downstairs that I just need to bag and put on the site and take pictures of.
Ooh, fancy.
I got some merch. I got beer koozies coming.
Ooh, see, I've got the only beer koozies I've got I've got the Dixie one, and that's the only beer koozie.
Mhm.
We should,
Yeah, I'm
maybe we should
doing
make some
ones-
next on deck koozies.
Hey, they're cheap. They're easy. I mean, people will buy them. And I'm doing that size, the 12 ounce. Then I have like the 16 ounce can size too. I'm gonna sell them in a pack. I'm gonna sell them one each in a pack.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm very surprised that the beer koozie wasn't the very first thing that you did. As much.
Honestly, I did like I want to do glasses too, but I'm still kind of nervous about shipping glasses.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
that's.
I mean,
tough.
they're robust enough, but like I wouldn't want to like be like, hey, I bought a PCB and then I also bought a glass, like long thin item, and then like that, like
Yeah,
How am I gonna ship that
I feel like
together?
that'd have to be this. You can only buy this
yeah.
during like this has to be its own part of the order. So
Let's just do a
But-
group buy for them.
Tray Pop, 100% flat boxes do take. I have like a third of my outdoor storage is taken
Oh
up
my
right
God, yeah.
now of just boxes.
One big lesson learned that I have learned is don't buy bubble wrap, because when you buy bubble wrap, it comes in like this huge cylinder.
Spool.
Yeah, a massive spool of bubble wrap. If you can, just get like the rolls of paper and then wad it up, because that takes up the same amount of space. It doesn't pad as well, but like when I do things like plates or PCBs, I usually just use it for space fill. But it takes up so much of space when you are using it when you're storing it.
It's also
Yeah, most of
easier to
those-
like throw up on the top of a shelf rather than this
Exactly.
giant roll.
And they sell the really nice dispensers where you can just rip it and tear it and just toss it and go.
Boom. Easy peasy. We usually we talked last couple times you've been on hot takes. Now it's hot tips with Heine.
I am interested in something that's probably a hot take, because a couple weeks ago, Chewy reached out to a bunch of different designers and asked them about how their thoughts on the current crazy prices on the aftermarket and how that affects the not the actual like community as a whole, but them as a company moving forward. And I'm interested to hear yours as someone who you do a lot for the community. But you're also getting more and more invested in doing, full keyboard runs. What's your take on that?
Yeah, so it's a good idea from the standpoint of someone selling it because you make more money. However, it becomes almost like an elitism or a classism, like oh hey, I spent $2,000 on this. It's like, okay,
Cool.
that's sick, but like, sorry, like that's a lot of money. Like it's not worth that much, but it is good. I only really foresee it. Like I'm gonna do it with my extras, like group buy extras, things like that. Like for in stock stuff, maybe depending what it is, but like if it's a group buy, I want to do it as a raffle or as first come first serve, because it does kind of even the playing field a bit, where it's not a matter of I have this much money, so I deserve to have this more than someone that doesn't. But at the same time, when it comes to doing it with extras, I think it's worth it because it's someone that says, oh, I didn't get it on the raffle, like I wasn't lucky, or I didn't get on the first come first serve, like my internet sucks, or I was just too slow filling information out. But I think it's worth this much money, so I will bid that much in a Victory auction. So that's it's tough to balance. It's definitely a balance because you could go and you could probably sell keyboards for $800, like some keyboards have been sold, which probably aren't worth that much. but it's a very dangerous precedent to set. Especially as the community goes, because then it literally just becomes nothing but hype beasts, which are just like, oh, hey, like my YouTube video or my Twitch chat, $2,000 keyboard, $2,800 keyboard, like $3,600 keyboard. It's like, that's sick, but like, that is the dumbest flex I've ever seen. Like, good for you that you can spend this much money on your credit card or on your PayPal account or on your parents' credit card or whatever it is. Who knows? It's just dumb. It's like, that's sick, but like, so what? Like,
I hate when I see the like $2,000 keyboard build. I'm like, cool.
Yeah, it's
Cool.
like, dude,
all you're doing now is like,
and then they build it with like pudding caps or like stupid. Oh my god, it just makes me nope. That
like,
board does not deserve that.
And what
It doesn't
bothers me
deserve
is
that.
when stuff like that happens is now if that shit explode, because that's what's that? That's clickbait. That's all it is.
Yeah,
Clickbait.
yeah, it's literally clickbait. It's like, oh, why is this keyboard $2,000? Like, dude, I'm gonna check it out.
And then now you've got. I remember watching a streamer who someone said, "Hey, did you see that $3,500 keyboard?" And this streamer was streaming to 400 people. Guaranteed, none. Like maybe 2 or 3 of them were in the hobby of mechanical keyboards. This guy's a gaming streamer, and he was like, "Oh, is that how much mechanical keyboards cost? Yeah, I'm not buying a custom mechanical keyboard. They're
Yeah,
not
exactly.
$3,500." And I'm like, you just told 400 people
Yep.
that custom
Not to
mechanical
buy that.
keyboards are now $3,500 expensive. I'm like, no, they're not. They are not.
It's insane. I mean, you might have. I mean, there are obviously outlier prices when it comes to that, but it's also people buying it to get those views. It's like, and I also think people care way too much about the resale value.
Yeah.
Like, there are a lot of people in the community. I don't blame them necessarily, but they go in and they buy things literally just to flip them, just to sell them. Like, I've been in some Discord servers and stuff where like the main discussion is, how much money do you guys think I can make on this? And I get it, like I said, but at the same time, it's very irritating as someone that is so into the hobby and has been in the hobby for a very long time, where like the boards I get like might be 1 of 5, 1 of 1, whatever. Very like, I could turn around and sell these no problem, but I don't want to because I like them and I use them and I want to use them. And people are like, oh, I have, this one little blemish. It's like, okay, like, it's a keyboard, you're using it. Like, if you want something that you want to put in a museum or in a case, like, don't even waste your time selling, like, building it and using it. Like, just keep it away. It's the worst. That's the worst thing that's happening to this hobby right now, is the people that are only concerned with how much money they can make off of it.
Because it is frustrating to see boards that like people don't even enjoy. Like, they don't even enjoy. Yeah. They just get it and then they put it up. It's like, at least just like build it, right? Like, just build it. See if you like it. Also, thank you, Scott Water, for the 100 bits. Appreciate it.
Yeah, it is just a keyboard. Yeah, it's like,
it's just a keyboard.
Like, I remember I told people with the Bach, I was like, just don't immediately. But if you type on it for a month and then you realize, hey man, I just don't like this anymore.
Yeah.
You tried it. That's all. That's you did exactly what I want. And everybody that got one and everyone that has sold one had built it, tried it, and said, I just don't like this. Or I just don't like this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's
fine.
I can't make you like something, but you should at least freaking try it. Like,
exactly. Yeah. The one thing I've noticed, and like especially with like my private buys and stuff, is like the people respect it enough to not be like, I'm gonna turn on and sell that. And I am keeping a list of people that do want to do that. I've seen people try to trade spots, do that, and like, I literally won't even entertain you if you're like, hey, I'm trading the spot. I'm like, that's too bad. It sucks for you. Here's your money back. I don't care about you.
Yep. And that's
and that's once again, like I said earlier, like, I don't advertise on Reddit because I don't want people from Reddit buying my stuff. Like, that sounds really stupid and not great, but I don't want someone that only goes on RMK to be like, oh, I want that board that Heine made. It's like, no, I want someone that's actually going to appreciate it to buy it. It's just,
Heine, I have a quick question for you.
Oh, yeah?
What's better, the Rama U80 or the Fiel?
I kind of like both. I don't know. I mean, they're both relatively lit. I don't really. I can't give a good opinion.
We had someone who.
What's a Rama U80?
That's the TKL.
Oh, yeah,
TKL.
Oh, that's gonna be.
This person. Somebody was asking us multiple times, what's better, and we're like, well, they're. I was like, bro, these are like.
They're so different.
These are apples and orange.
Yeah.
These are like, this is like food and not food. Like, these are so polar opposite. and was basically asking what's going to get me more karma, what's going to be the better flex. I'm like, that
Exactly.
then you don't care. You don't
Nope.
care. You just want to flex.
And I hate that, and that's the worst thing. That it's the exact same idea. It's okay, hey guys, what's gonna make me look cooler? What's gonna make me, seem like I'm cooler than I am, or what's gonna make me feel better to my friends than I do now, or whatever. It's the worst. Rama's a great marketer. They are doing awesome stuff.
God.
It really sucks too because
However, it's just ridiculous.
it just sucks too because I think right now some of the boards that are getting this crazy hype are some of the most like well thought out. Well, the Iron 165.
There's both sides of the 165 is a sweet board,
and it's like a very well thought out and engineered board, and I think it should be super highly regarded. But it sucks that people that got them and people that are buying them are just getting them to flip them, and people who will appreciate it for the quality of it are missing out because
they're just gonna sit there and gaze at them. Like the whole thing with Upos running the extras on his website. I love that, the fact that he put that, because people literally bought it like because they saw, the extras are going to be $500. I can buy it, turn around, sell it on Mech Market for $1,800 and make $1,300.
Well, and was it, as Osiris pointed out, was it the Wrecked where people were selling their? So he did the Wrecked where it wasn't a group buy, it was a ready to ship, and people were selling the Wrecked before the board even shipped to them.
It's disgusting.
Which awful. I would be like, I mean, that guy email account banned, and that email would be sent to a lot of other people going, hey, this guy's account on yours needs to be, because that's the other thing. A lot of people don't realize this. A lot of designers talk to each other. So if you blacklist yourself from one of them, there's a good chance that you're going to be blacklisted pretty quickly from a lot of different ones.
No Chance RPG just said RMK has 600,000 users. Painting them all with one brush doesn't make a lot of sense. I'm not painting all users the same. I'm saying that ones that only go on Reddit and just look at the top posts and are like, that's a hype keyboard. Those aren't the type of people I want to sell to. The people that are on RMK and also in various other channels that I'm on, those are the customers that I want to target.
Yeah, it's not like you're completely shutting it off. Like, no. They can still, if people want to find your stuff, they can still find it. Like, you're super present in Discords. You're super present. Obviously, you post everything on Geekhack. You post it on Instagram. Like, it's not like you're just not posting it. Like, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like I just don't. I'm not going to advertise my group buy on Reddit because I don't need to. It's a simple truth of the matter. Like, I just don't need to.
New Types hits it right on the head. People are not willing to wait, and they're trying to come in, and because right now a lot of people, we get new people coming in and they go, where do you buy? And you go, honestly, right now you kind of have to go to Mech Market.
Yeah, it's tough. You're just gonna wait. Yeah, and
you gotta wait.
And a lot of people don't get that. Because so much. I mean, I kind of blame Amazon for a little bit of it, like Prime shipping, and you buy something you have it the next day, and I mean everyone wants stuff as soon as they can, but a lot of newer people in the community don't get that. Like, that's literally how keyboards, like, it sucks that that's how it is. And then they're like, oh, why don't you just make more? And why don't you just, whatever. And it's like, oh yeah, let me go ahead and QC 500 boards. Let me do that
from my living room.
Let me quit my job. Let me take the time out of my day and out of my life to do that. And it would literally take 6 times longer, if not more.
My, like, whatever, I've already talked to my boss. I'm like, I'm doing this. I don't want to explain mechanical keyboards to you right now, but I'm going to get like 7 boxes shipped to my apartment, and I'm taking a day off when that happens.
Yeah.
I literally, I don't have the time to do it normally. So yeah, it's tough. You can't, what's funny though about the Amazon Prime thing is, so I work at a job, for those who don't know, I work in education, and I work in special education, and my job requires a lot of patience. It's a lot of I send Osiris like Snapchats of kids just like screaming bloody murder.
It's kind of entertaining.
And he'll just send me, he's like, dude, I don't envy you right now. Like, I'll get messages that's like, I thought I was having a bad day. and so it takes a lot of patience. In the keyboard hobby, it takes a lot of patience. I'm the most impatient person when it comes to Amazon. I'm like, fuckers told me he was going to be here by 6. It's 6:15.
Oh, I hate that. And I've had so many issues with UPS.
Impatient person with everything else outside of
bad.
keyboards in my job.
And it sucks because like I don't blame it. Like if I could, I would love to have things ready to ship, ready to go. 4 days later you get it, whatever it is. But it just doesn't work like that, and it's a shame.
Yeah,
maybe one day.
It sucks too because it's like those people that are spending $1,800, $2,000 on boards. It's like you could get 3 keyboards, 2 to 3 keyboards, and 2 to 3 key sets for the amount that you're spending on one board.
But then again, that also goes with like if people want it that badly, they'll just put up a ridiculous number and get it.
Yeah,
and they'll have it. Yeah,
the value is up to the person spending the money, and like we've said before, that's not inherently wrong.
No,
because if someone thinks I want that and I'm wanting to spend $2,000 because to me $2,000 either to me it's worth $2,000 or to me $2,000 is not a lot of money. There's nothing inherently wrong with that. It just kind of sucks for everybody else. But like
that's how it goes. Like you see a guy driving down the street in a really nice car, or you drive down the road and you see a really nice house. You're like, damn, that sucks. Like I wish that was me. But
it's not.
Yeah.
That's
how it goes.
It happens. So guys, if you have questions for Mr. Hineybush, please hit @MexOnDeck so it's easier for us to find. Ask away. Ask about the H87. Ask about keyboards, keycaps, GMK beta, whatever you would like. If you want a hot take, he's definitely the one to give it.
I'm down.
I enjoy it. So real quick, guys, quick shout out to the people that help support the channel and get the channel going off the feet. You can go to switchmod.net/mexondeck, pick up GMK beta. That will not work with a 4% discount, but we do get a little bit of a kickback from that. So if you do use that for GMK beta, be sure to go grab it because it's a very cool set designed by some very cool people. Next, you can go to mexondeck.dixiemech.com. In a couple days, GMK White Wolf will be launching, as well as is Minimal. I think today's last, or was yesterday last day for Minimal.
I think the 31st was the last day.
Okay, so but White Wolf just around the corner, so be sure to check that out as well. If you want some of these, if you hate trays but you don't like bags, go grab some of those Tupperware containers. From mexondeck.dixiemech.com. Next up, Project Keyboards. You can go to mexondeck.project.link. Last chance to pick up Dolch R5 from there. You got through September 4th. And if you're wanting to put on an Alice board, go to hineybush.com and pick up some space bars there.
Anything you might need a small space bar for, I got you.
There you go. So, and then lastly, canonkeys.com/mexontech for GMK Yuru, as well as Cat Mizu. So be sure to check those out. Those are some awesome sets, as well as our awesome partners, Zap Cables, who makes some of the best, if not the best, cables in the business. Smith and Rune. Be sure to keep your eyes peeled for the 180. And they've also got really, really awesome clothing on there. So there you go. If you want some keyboard, if you want to flex those keyboard things, and then you have to get into awkward conversations with random people about keyboards, that's your perfect way. And then last but not least, Mr. Type Beast. You can go to typebea.st for an amazing newsletter by an awesome person.
We have some questions already in. Jeff Leopard asks, acrylic TKL1 win?
That's a meme. Honestly, I would love to maybe like release files or something akin to like the TGR A17. Maybe one day. I'll figure it out.
It looked hot in the poly renders. It looked good.
I want to do poly one day. Maybe one day.
Brez says Minimal doesn't today, so it doesn't. So last chance, guys. Go pick up your black on white sets. Commander Bear asks @Hineybush at MexOnDeck, do you think that getting more inventory will reduce people selling in the aftermarket? Also, did your keyboard group by finish already?
Which keyboard group buy?
Probably the TKL1.
Finish as in not accepting entries? Yes. Finish as in shipping anything? No. I'm waiting on the boards to finish. More inventory, reduce people selling aftermarket? No, because the inventory will get bought up anyway. And then once the inventory is bought up and not easily available from me or from other vendors, then the only way to get it is the aftermarket, which then the price is whatever people want to pay. It's not what I said it as. So no.
Unless you're lucky.
Yeah, unless you're lucky. But for the most part, no, that won't change anything.
Yeah, I think
as long as demand is higher than supply, things will be the way they are.
It's one of those things where it'll maybe reduce it by slightly. Like instead of boards selling for 5 times what they sell for a group buy, it'd be like 4 times, but that's still ridiculous. Like,
and it also depends on the board, right?
Yeah,
it's like, oh, we've got 400 of these. That might not matter.
Yeah,
that could just might not matter at all.
What about having so much inventory it's always in stock? That would be the dream. But then again, if everyone has one, then no one has one. I like keeping things exclusive and different to make it a little more special for the people that have them. And there's no way, like, I would literally have to like have a like warehouse with employees to do that, and that'd be cool. I'd love to get to that point, but not gonna happen. I don't want to do it. I don't care enough. I just like doing what I do, and it's easier and more fun for me. I don't want this to be a full-time job where, you know, it's a job. I like doing it as something that's fun for me to do on the side, and I make money from it.
So I know you said that you're planning on doing another HBCP round. Do you have any plans on when that could happen or info about
not right
it?
now. I'll try to maybe do that later this year. Maybe we'll try to fulfill that the spring or summer, early summer next year. We'll see. Like I said, I'm trying to rework the design a little bit. It's gonna look a little more like TKO1, like with the sides cut out and all that nice stuff. But yeah, I'm gonna do some more HBCP for sure. I think Ibis is gonna be next. Actually no, HSC first and then Ibis is gonna be the order. HSC is the F13 TKO1. Have I announced extra HBCP prices? No, I'm probably gonna victory auction the A stocks. There's literally like 7 A stocks maybe, and then the B stocks I'll just sell for whatever I feel like selling them for.
I thought we had one more. How did you get the name Hineybush?
My last name is Hineybush, so I just like made it Hineybush at one point because people just called me Heine or Henny or whatever. It just worked out.
Nice. I
There's
think
a bunch of random questions.
there was one that Stash Builds Boards asked for a hot take on the Honeyboard 60.
Yes. It's in production. I don't know. It's just like a thing. It's just a basic 60% board. It's cheap and easy. How I like it. So yeah. And then the H88, the caps lock is off. The caps lock should be more towards the end of the board. Like the rightmost here, or the leftmost, I guess, on your screen should be perfectly vertical with this, and it's not. So I had to order more. They should be ready in a couple weeks. Making PCBs open source would alleviate crazy mech market prices. No. A PCB is a small, insignificant, cheap part of the board. I don't like open sourcing my stuff anyway because I like making things like I make them and not other people. Some open sourcing is good, but it also lowers the entry level to it, which I don't like. So no, it wouldn't alleviate anything.
Milkman, you asked, what's your shiniest keycaps?
Probably Muted. I used Muted for like a year straight on my JNV2 before I sold that. So probably that. This 9009 is actually looking really shiny too. It's on my N-dash. I can like see the glare looking at it right now. Probably one of those two.
Mine's camping. Like it's not even close.
Oh, I love a nice
smooth boy.
Oh, Grissian. Yeah, the Grissian. I didn't shine that myself. I bought it very shiny, so I can't say I did that. Sorry.
Yeah, the person that still
Tiny
shines.
65%.
The person that shines up key sets the most that I've seen is Tyson.
Tyson.
Oh my god, he's like Costa cans. Krelbit's the same way. What layout have I been using? 10 keyless. Pretty much 10 keyless and a numpad. That's it. Layouts I want to use, I'm cool with what I have. Although I do want to try the Blackbird layout with Ibis. I'm excited for that.
Biohazard asks, what do you see the next feature gasket mount example coming to boards or PCB?
I don't know. People are just adding stupid, useless shit to PCBs left and right. It's like it's cool, but like you don't really use it that much. I don't know. I don't see the point in it. I'm very utilitarian. There's always stuff happening.
I'd
Honestly,
like to see the magnets. I want to see that.
the maglev mount. See, the problem with that is it can like I feel like it might actually like cause issues with the signals of the PCB.
Yeah.
Maybe not necessarily, but potentially.
I want to see it work because that's just cool. That's just a cool thing.
Oh yeah.
I personally wouldn't get it because I don't like flexi boards at all. Like the opposite. But that would be such a cool little concept. Like that's cool that works. That's just
unique. Yeah. It's like I don't think it would feel good. I don't think it's gonna be. I really don't think it would be a good option. It would literally just do it for the novelty of it, and that's it.
Yeah. That's kind of how things start, though. Occasionally a new thing comes along. It's seen as a novelty, and then all of a sudden, it's on like half the boards that the community comes out with. So,
and that's all just hype because people see like a buzzword and they're like, "Oh, I'm going to do this," and then it sucks, and it's like, "Okay, see ya."
It's like the full isolation mount, like boards like the JL1 and the Kepler, where they have the giant gaskets. Like that was really big last year or 2 years ago. Last year. But now you barely see that. Like people are changing it. Like even the JL1 V2 has changed the way that it does it.
So, yeah, and it's the one thing that I hate when people design boards is they put supports or plate mounts or something on the ends. I think that really ruins the feel of a board. It makes it way too rigid towards maybe on a 60 it can work, but it makes the board way too rigid on the ends versus the center.
I built a M0110, which was designed 3 years ago, and then it took 2 years to make, and it had those side mounts. And now I like stiff, but I could tell that I was like, this is different. This is this is like, I guess I do like just a smidge, just enough. I was like, I guess I didn't realize exactly, but I also like typing on integrated plates. So, that's zero. But so we got a couple. How did you all get into the hobby? Mine's pretty simple. My buddy, I was getting into PC gaming, and my buddy Will said, "You buy a mechanical keyboard." And then the second layer to that is Osiris got into the hobby, and then I was like, "Sure, build me a board." So,
and I built a PC, I think, between junior and senior of college, and I bought like a Logitech G710 Plus. And then I joined the mechanical keyboard subreddit and then the Discord, and then it all went downhill. Yep.
I built a PC as well, and Chewy was like, "Hey, you should buy this keyboard," and it was a Ducky.
Oh,
he's like, people like it. He's like, I hear that people say Duckies are good mechanical keyboards for the money.
I recommend Duckies to people all the time.
And then I had been on drop for other products, and then I saw mechanical keyboards. Got into it, got researching, bought a Tada 68, and from there it was kind of like you said, all downhill from there. Leads to something else, and then boom, now you're in too deep.
Before you know, you're making your own boards.
There's a message somewhere in Osiris and I's PM history where he sent me a link to the Rama M60 when it first ran. And I said, spending $400 on a keyboard. What kind of bullshit is that? Anyway, so what is your favorite beers?
That's really hard to say. I mean, I've liked most beers I've drank, but probably my favorite like style would just be a New England IPA. Nice hazy. Those are always good.
For me, it's not hard. The classic Deep Elm IPA. It's local. It's solid. It's a West Coast style IPA.
I like West Coast too.
Citrusy. It's good. It's solid.
Overall, I drink stouts. My favorite is Nitro Stout. It's called
Ooh.
Nitro Merlin from Fire something. I don't remember.
I've been trying to get more into this. I like nitro anything. I've had like nitro pale ales.
Mhm.
Those are always good.
I enjoy them. So, I like drinking a loaf of bread. So, but Kimchi Jody Boy asks, Mex on Deck, Hineybush. I know Heine has more of a classic, but is there anything you have in mind that you would like to design run that you have not been able to for whatever?
Yeah, like the biggest thing for me is like time to actually sit down and like brainstorm and like design something new. A lot of times it is relatively regurgitated and like what I know and what I do. But what I would love to do at some point soon is like a full on USB hub in a board, but not like a USB 2.0 because that's too easy. I want to do like a full on like USB 3.1. Like will come with like a good cable, like and you can do cool shit with it.
Yeah.
I'm definitely to the level skill wise. It's just like I literally just need the time to do it. That's the hard part.
That would be sweet, but it's
Mhm.
that's one of those things that needs some like definitely needs some prototyping. Figure out how to make it all work.
Lemo from the direct from the board is a really dumb meme. I hate that. I hate the Lemo meme. It's so stupid.
Speaking of that, I'm building a Kepler on Saturday that has that.
Oh, it's so dumb. It's literally like it's something to just make the thing more expensive, which is dumb. Like just use a USB cable,
I
like
hate
God
it.
intended.
I did one Lemo build and hated it on just like a cable.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't stand it. I plan on expanding the so the squid. I'm not going to do the squid runs. It's going to go back to the Baka. I'm changing the name back. The squid is for a very specific reason. I plan on expanding that line of and going past 60%. But I'm not going to run 2 group buys at once. I'm never going to run 2
Yeah,
at once because that's shit gets
it
one
does get real.
controlling
real
two
fast.
different having to go like updates with 2 different group buys. I'm like, no, it's too much money for a product of too much money I would have on I'm like, I don't want 2 different sections of people. So,
Someone asked where to get an
Biohazard, I'll ban
H87A.
you.
Someone asked where to get an H87A. Krellbit and I should each have them in stock in a couple weeks. Pay attention to one of our Discords for the information on those. And plates for the LZ plates. I don't think I have any LZ plates, but I can maybe talk to him and see if he can give me some. Because I talk to LZ a lot, so we'll see. But yeah, H87A should be ready in a couple weeks, so keep your eye out.
Nice.
What's Heine's day job? I am an electrical engineer. I work for a company and I design boards for test systems and for different sensors and stuff like that. So I literally do keyboard stuff in real life, but like on a much higher level.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's like the
And I
hobby.
still make dumb mistakes.
The hobby and the real life job kind of intertwine a little bit.
And the best part is like learning all the stuff I learned by designing keyboards, like SolidWorks, the PCB software and stuff. It really helped me actually like get jobs in the real world because I didn't learn this stuff in college. Like they don't teach you how to use like PCB software unless you take like maybe one course in software every 2 years. At least that was in my school. But like just learning it and doing it and getting better at it, like that's really what got me into like literally working, doing my full-time jobs right now. So yeah, I really attribute keyboards and stuff to a lot of it, a lot of what I'm doing these days.
Someone says Chewy probably drinks scotch. I actually don't drink dark liquor.
I'm the Scotch one out of the
Cyrus
duo.
I don't really drink liquor all that often. I usually just stick to beer. Let's see, is there anything else? Other than that, I think engineering. So, well, Heine, I want to say thank you very, very much for coming on the show.
Very welcome.
It's always a pleasure having you on. It's always I love that I got to work, for work. I love that I got the chance to work with you. That was obviously fun. You scared the shit out. Talisman Solutions. Thank you for the 1,111 bits for the Heine bits. Definitely appreciate that. But I love that I got to work with you, and we always love having you on.
Yeah, I love having you guys. You're good people to talk to, and it's always cool to have these kind of discussions because you don't really get to do it too often.
For sure, for sure. We definitely appreciate it. And of course, everyone in chat, stay tuned to tuned into to Hineybush.com, right? That's because it was Hiney.cc. Now it's Hiney.
HineyBC redirects to Hineybush.com.
There you go.
So stay tuned to it.
Stay tuned and get yourself some spacebar caps. If you're going for the Alice for an Alice board.
Even if you don't want to use them, guaranteed flip value. You'll make like $5. So
I mean, if you don't need it now, you may need it one day. So just buy them.
True.
Also, I mean, think about this. You go get yourself like Dolchar 5, and then you have that kit on there. That's like 25% increase because now someone doesn't have to go find them. You did the work.
Exactly. It's already there.
Big brain move. Yeah, guys, go check out GMK Beta as well. Switchmod.net/Mex on Deck helps us out, helps Heine out. So anything else you would like to plug?
No. Buy my stuff and let me do this. And I like it. I'm okay with that. Trying to buy a house next year, so let's make it happen.
Boom. There it is. So guys, thank you again. And be sure to come swing by Saturday. There's going to be some time. I imagine that's going to be a build that's going to,
What are you building on Saturday?
Kepler. I'm building a Kepler. So
yeah. Oh God, good luck.
So are
you building the DH87A that like you have to bridge twice?
No. This is it's
PCB then.
Yeah, it's the actual PCB. It's got the JST connector, so
that'll be easy then.
It'll be simple. The hardest thing will be the gaskets, because they don't like stick on anywhere. It's just kind of like
it's just floating.
Yeah.
Good luck.
So, but thank you guys. Let's see who's streaming.
Let's see. I don't know.
We went for a keyboard streamer yesterday, and we usually do non-keyboard streamers. So let's go to someone who is a non-keyboard streamer, and let's ask them what is on their desk. So what, Osiris, you know way more of the streamers.
There is someone. There's this guy that looks like he's building a knife. Like he's making a knife. It's HCKS_Texas, which shout outs to our Texas boys. But he's making a knife, which is pretty cool. He might not have a keyboard to like show off, but it looks very interesting, and I'm always interested to send people to a makers and crafting channel that might be a little bit different.
Oh, this looks cool. I'm watching this thing right now. Send it.
I'm gonna send it here.
I'm not gonna send what I'm getting from Walmart this time. That may have been one of my favorite things of watching Huey go, what the hell is happening right now? So we're gonna hit him with a yeehaw and what's show us your keyboard. So guys, thank you. Show up Saturday for the Kepler build stream. And Heine, thank you, man. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem, guys. Thanks for having me. Always a good time.
So buy a Switch tester.
Bye now.
See ya.